Hello, and welcome to another Ask Us Anything Live. With me, Kate R., the senior teacher with Intrepid English. So, last week I talked with my amazing student, Jorge, in Mexico, about the false friends we have in English and Spanish. And this week, I'm going to talk about the false friends we have in English for French learners. Be sure to check out our blog on our website about the Spanish false friends. And then be sure to check out the new blog that's coming this week as well for French learners. So, those French students of ours that are studying English, this blog and this video is for you. So, false friends, what are they? So they are words that look the same in two languages, but actually have very different meanings in the different languages. So they cause confusion, and unfortunately, learners make a lot of errors because of these false friends. So I want to talk about some verbs that are very often confused. So we have the verb to attend in English, and in French, there is the verb attendre. So in English, to attend means to be present. So, for example, to attend a meeting, to attend a class, to attend an event. Now, if you're talking about attend an event or attend a meeting or in French, you do not use the verb attendre. You use the verb assister à or participer à. Attendre in French means to wait. So when you are talking about standing in a queue or at a bus stop, and you're standing there for a long time, you are waiting. You are not attending the bus. You are waiting for the bus. The next one is to rest in English. And we also have rester in French. So to rest in English is to have a rest, to relax, to take a break, to stop being active. But it does not mean to stay. So to stay somewhere in French is rester. Okay, so you would say we stayed in Paris for 3 days. You would not say we rested in Paris for 3 days, because rested means to relax, to take a break. But to stay somewhere, that is to live somewhere temporarily. So if you are talking about being in a place on holiday and that you are living there temporarily, you would use we stayed in Paris for 3 days. You would not say we rested in Paris. You can say we rested in the afternoon after, all morning being very, very busy. We rested in the afternoon. We had a nap. We had a little sleep. We relaxed. Okay. The next one is to support in English and supporter. These look exactly the same, but they have very, very, very different meanings. So to support in English means that we give someone assistance. We help someone. So, for example, they supported the troops going to war. Okay, they helped them, they assisted them, they gave support. Okay, supporter in French is very different. It means to tolerate somebody, to, someone's quite annoying and you tolerate them. So, for example, um, uh, in English, we would say, I don't tolerate rudeness. We would not say, I don't support rudeness. We would say, I don't tolerate rudeness in my class, or I don't tolerate bullying. being horrible, being mean. I'm not okay with it. Okay, so we do not use the verb support in English there. We would use support only to talk about helping and assisting somebody. The next one is same in Spanish. It often has causes a lot of problems, and I think it's every Latin. So weird that this has happened, but Latin languages say sensible, sensible, sensibile, if I remember correctly in Spanish, what Jorge told me. But in English, that word is sensitive, not sensible. So sensible in English is, for example, he decided to be sensible and save his money. He decided to not take risks. He decided to make good choices, being smart. But sensible in French is sensitive. So he is this is a very sensitive issue to talk about. Okay, for example, it's a very emotional, it's a subject that is very difficult to talk about. It's very sensitive. We have to be very careful and to choose our words carefully. Whereas sensible in English is, remember, to not take risks, to be careful. But it's not talking about emotion. It's talking about being smart and clever. And sensitive is when you are. So, for example, I can also say my daughter is very sensitive. She cries very easily when she doesn't like being pushed. Well, who does? But most children are okay with it. But my eldest daughter is very sensitive and does not like being touched or pushed. So that's when we would use sensitive. Sensible is only talking about using our head and being smart and making good choices. Another thing in French is that unfortunately there have been words that have been taken into the French language that are English words, and they seem to just take nouns or verbs and add ing, and they think that makes it a cool word in French. Unfortunately, sometimes the word does not actually exist in English. So when French learners are speaking English, they use these words and they just don't make sense in English. The first one is they say parking. Now, in English, when we're talking about the space outside or inside, it can be an outside space, or it can be a special block inside where people go and park their cars. This is not called a parking. This is called a car park. Okay, parking is when we're using it as a verb in the present continuous or the past continuous or the future continuous. So, for example, right now I am parking my car, or I was parking my car when I saw my friend. Or I will be parking my car in that car park tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Okay, that's when we use parking in English. The other word is footing. Now, this is weird because what the real word in English is jogging, to go jogging. So footing doesn't exist in English. So they've taken the word foot and added ing when the real word is jogging, to go jogging, to jog. And then the other word they've created is relooking. Again, doesn't exist in English. It is only makeover in English. We don't say relooking. It's like they've taken the idea of taking a look and then we relook, which doesn't exist either, which is when we change the appearance of something. So we say in English to change the appearance of something or to make over. We don't say to relook, and we don't say to a relooking. We say a makeover. So she had a complete makeover, or they completely made over the apartment. It looks completely different now. The final one I want to share is baskets. So baskets in English are to talk about baskets, so flower baskets, or what you take to the market and you put your fruit and vegetables in. It's not used to talk about comfortable sports shoes. Okay, comfortable shoes are trainers in English, British English, and sneakers in American English, not baskets. Baskets are what we put food in or we put flowers in. So I hope that helped all our French learners. And if you have any questions, please comment below. Otherwise, I hope that if you're a Spanish learner or a French learner, you have understood these common errors and you will not make them. And then your English will be amazing. And that is the whole point of Intrepid English, is to empower you in English. So if you like these videos or any other of our many videos on our website, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course, if you want to have a more personalized help in English, please go onto our website. All the links are below, and book a trial lesson with me, and we can see how I can help you in your English. It might be with me, it will be with me, the trial lesson, but then you might be with one of our other teachers, if that is what suits you best. So please have a great day, and I will see you next Friday when we'll be talking about some spooky vocabulary to use before Halloween. Anyway, have a great weekend.